Welcome back. This is the Series of Opinions podcast, episode number 22, Canadiana, where we are going to talk about some of our favorite aspects of Canadian media. So I'm Moira.
I'm Faith.
And I'm KJ.
Do we want to start off with any recommendations for this week?
I have some recommendations.
Yay.
And they're kind of all interconnected, so this is a 3-for-1, I guess.
Okay.
Incredible.
So like the main one is I just watched It's a Sin on Prime. I think it's actually like a Channel 4 HBO Max show, but it's on Prime, so you can watch it there. And it's like a 5-part mini-series on the AIDS epidemic in London, which is not any. I didn't. Obviously, I knew about the AIDS epidemic, but like usually we hear about like the American part because it really like originated there as an epidemic. So that was really good. I cried. It was sad.
Yeah, I would imagine. I've seen it all like because I've been watching Supernatural, as you know.
Right. Yeah.
Binging it. So every episode, pretty much, I get a trailer for that.
Yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend. And then, I think I talked about this, but it wasn't as, like, a recommendation. I think I brought this up in episode 19, which was Unspeakable, which was a Canadian show also about the AIDS epidemic, but it wasn't about the LGBTQ population. It's just about, these two families with kids with hemophilia, which means that they need blood products, which got contaminated here in Canada during the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
And so that's a really good short series as well. And then my third one's not about the AIDS epidemic, but in It's a Sin, one of the main protagonists, Jill, is played by Lydia West, who was in another HBO miniseries. I think it was HBO or BBC. I watched it on HBO anyways. And it's called Years and Years, and it's so good. It's actually one of the best 6-part series I think I've ever watched.
Wow.
It's so good, and it's about this, like, future, and it really feels natural. Like, I think the first episode starts in 2019, and then over the course of the episode goes to, like, 2024, and it feels like such a natural progression into, like, a somewhat futuristic, but not too far off society, where, like, America and China are kind of at war, and there's economic collapse and the banks fail. Like, it really feels like a really natural progression of what could potentially happen to our society, and it's really good.
That's very cool.
So I recommend all 3 of those.
Okay, awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What was the last one called that you said?
Years and Years.
Awesome.
Yeah, really good. Highly recommend.
Put them all on the list for sure, because those all sound really good.
Yeah.
So I have a couple. I really struggled again this week because I've been watching like nothing but Supernatural. So I was going back through my subscriptions and trying to find something that I could recommend. And I have this YouTube channel called The Game Grumps, and I love them. They're such a relief for me. Just if you need like 2 stupid guys playing video games and like making stupid jokes just to laugh, then they're great. I love all their stuff. I watch like compilations of their funny moments when I've had a hard day and I need to like just have a laugh and cheer myself up. So they really mean a lot to me, that YouTube channel. And then I also wanted to recommend the Food Psych podcast with Christy Harrison. That I love her, and her book is also really good. But she is a registered dietitian nutritionist that talks all about like body image and intuitive nutrition and eating according to like what your body is kind of trained biologically to want and need to fuel itself, rather than like the diet culture mentality and all of that stuff that we're shoved full of from a really young age. So I love that podcast.
That sounds really good. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Super good and super interesting. And I really like her. Like, Christy Harrison is really, she's really, like, the way she talks about it is really good and not, like, boring. So
that's amazing.
So those were my 2 that I scraped the bottom of the barrel for this week.
I mean, you can just recommend Supernatural every week. It's fine.
I mean, I might start.
There's 15 seasons, so it's gonna be a while before you're through all of them.
Exactly. I'll just recommend whatever season I'm currently on.
I love that. Okay, so I have 2/3 recommendations. So I want to recommend the TV show 911 and the spin-off TV show 911 Lone Star.
I love those.
I've seen an episode here or there of 911 and I like it, but I've never like watched it.
I can't find it anywhere to like specifically watch, but it keeps coming up on my Facebook like recommended of videos, and I'm just binging it. And I've now seen all of season 2 of 911 Lone Star because I found that somewhere. So I'm just skipping ahead, but I really enjoy it. And you can pick up and watch it right in the middle, and you won't get too confused. And I also want to re-recommend Virgin River because I finally got around to watching it this week, and it is so good.
I'm glad you finally made time for that.
Yeah. I finally get to enjoy it. It's only 10 episodes each season, so it's not too long to watch, but it's a really sweet show, and I really enjoyed it first season for its wholesome content, and now there's 3 people dead in season 2, but also really good. And like I have to solve the mystery in my brain, so I really enjoy it, except for the fact that it's not going to come out till November now, and I just have to wait on that cliffhanger. But that's okay. It's great.
Yeah, awesome. Those were some good ones. I didn't watch 911 right from the beginning, but I just started with my parents kind of watching in the middle of whatever season they're on right now. And it's really good and I like it. And then I've watched 911 Lone Star right from the beginning. So I really like that, especially because I don't know if you've only seen the second season.
Yeah,
the first season is like really terrible. I love every single episode, or like every single character, I mean, other than is it Michelle? I don't even remember what her name was because I hated her character so much. But it was, I believe, Steven Tyler's daughter who played her, and she's like the worst actress on the face of the earth. Like, come for me, she's so terrible. So, like, God bless this new gal that they have on the show. Went up in quality by like 300%. So
good to hear.
Just my thoughts on 901 Lone Star.
Oh, off the record, did you guys see me live tweeting Riverdale last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my god, I have to catch up on that.
It's bad. It's real bad. I think the worst thing might be that they somehow made KJ Appa's hair worse.
How?
It almost glows. It's so orange.
What? Oh my gosh.
So bright now. They went too far. Like, too far.
Oh my god.
Also,
I have to catch up on that.
Barchi had their first, like, official sex scene. And it was pretty much the exact same. Am I wrong? When Archie and Veronica first like got together, like, remember when Fred got shot and they like went back and they showered together? I'm pretty sure that they just like put Betty in that, put Betty in the shower.
Oh my god!
It was exactly the same. It was something. I actually really like them together. Not even gonna lie, but
oh my gosh, yeah. I've
been pretty checked out of Buckhead for a while, and I liked how Buckhead ended. So
okay, fair. I have to.
Yeah, catch up, because oh gosh, Polly was back this week. It was a nightmare.
Oh god. Anyways,
I'll cut all of that. But I just wanted to know if you guys saw me tweeting about it.
Oh god.
Oh, and Reggie sucks. Everybody sucks now except for Tony.
Oh,
but
god.
Reggie sucks really, really bad. Like worse than everybody.
Goodness.
So
okay. Super.
Yeah.
Everything is terrible.
Everything sucks.
That last half of season 4 was like not bad, and then now they've derailed.
Girl, once you know the Cooper Jones family imploded on every level.
Oh no.
Every level.
Oh,
just devastation.
Mass casualty.
Yeah. No one made it out of that family and totally unharmed.
Oh god.
But in particular, several things were real bad, so
can't wait to expose myself to that and force myself to watch it.
Do you know about Veronica's mom? Did I tell you, or did I just tell Moira?
About Veronica's mom?
Yeah.
No.
Her mom left her dad again to join the Real Housewives of New York.
Oh.
That's canon on the show.
Oh my god.
Right?
The writers had to sit down in a room and like say that
The
to
Real
each other.
Housewives isn't even a CW property, which means that they had to go to another network to license it.
Yeah, and get onto a Zoom meeting with those people and say with a straight face that that's something that they want to bring to Riverdale.
They just casually reference Andy Cohen all the time.
Oh my god.
It's a nightmare. It's literally a nightmare.
That is a nightmare. That's about, wow.
Like, I'm literally watching it to see how bad it gets.
Oh no. Oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah, I have so many questions. So many questions.
At this point, they're just like,
I can't believe they got renewed. I think I'm most shocked with the fact that it got renewed.
That's what I was gonna say, that like they're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks and gets them another new season.
It got renewed before the time jump too, so like it would have been fine like pre-time jump, but like post-time jump, I'm just like, you didn't like to renew before the time jump happened that you knew was happening, like you didn't know how this was gonna go over.
I think they know people, even though like they're like suffering, they feel like they have to watch it.
So many good shows. Just like stop watching so many good shows, and I'm still watching this.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
Oh, we should get back to the episode.
Yeah, we should in fact.
But I feel like I've hyped the energy, but
yeah, for sure. That was a good.
We're here.
Good starter. We're here. We've arrived.
Goodness.
Moira, pull us back in.
So, as I said before, we are going to be discussing Canadian media. So we chose a few of our favorites from music, TV, and books, and all different kinds of media to talk about for this week. So does anyone want to start us off and talk about some music and musicians that they like?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I think this was the easiest one for me.
Yeah, it was for sure one of the easier ones.
Yeah, I had 4. Not necessarily in, like, best to worst order, but, like, my first one is definitely my favorite of the 4, which is Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
I love her.
Yeah, before there was Taylor Swift in my life, there was Avril Lavigne.
Oh, I had a huge Avril Lavigne phase.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, it seems crazy because my Taylor Swift phase started when I was 10, and this was a distinct era before that, where I was into Avril Lavigne. I don't know how old I was when I got into her music, but I mean, like, she made it famous when she was 17, so, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, she's amazing, like...
She is.
Totally iconic. Oh, which reminded me that I left one off this list, but it's fine. My second one is Michael Bublé, who I don't think about, like, 11 months of the year, but I think about all of December.
Yeah.
He's our Christmas guy. I think he's everybody's Christmas guy. It's like Mariah Carey and Michael Bublé.
Pretty much.
He's great. I don't think he's, been involved in anything problematic that I know of, so that's always a plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have Bryan Adams, who I love, just in general. But I love more because the one time that I've seen him live was with Taylor Swift during the Reputation tour.
Amazing.
He was the special guest.
So, I mean,
yeah,
automatically love.
Yeah, they sang Summer of '69 together and it was amazing. But yeah, love him. He's totally iconic. I really like that whole era of rock in general, but like Bryan Adams is chill. He had some big hits. And then my fourth one is Shania Twain. I feel like that needs no explanation.
Yeah, I love her. All her stuff is so good.
Me too.
Yeah, she's so
many good bops.
I had what's up? I think it's Come On Up. I had like that came in like with a acoustic side and like a not acoustic side. In the CD, and like I had that, and it had posters in it. It was like the full deluxe version.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, I feel like being a young girl in our kind of rural area of Ontario, like, how can you not be obsessed with Shania Twain? That was just kind of like,
sometimes
it was just like the norm.
Sometimes you just need you put on Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and you yell and you scream and you don't sound good, but you just feel better after.
She sings Party for Two, right? Yeah. Okay, so I have just a tiny little anecdote.
Anecdotes.
I wanted to confirm just so I could make sure. But when I was little, I don't know why, but I heard that song in the car. And I think that was probably like the first music video I ever saw. So when I saw those two, whoever she sings, the guy that she sings with in that song, I thought in my little kid head that those were the only two people who sang all the songs in the world. So, like, a lot of the songs that came out around that time, I remember, like, picturing those two people. If it was a guy, the guy sang it. If it was a girl, like, Shania Twain sang it. So,
I feel like I've heard this
cute.
anecdote before, but it still gets... It's cute every time. That's such an adorable little kid thing.
It's so, like, why? Why did I see that music video? Why did I only see that music video? Why did I think everybody in the world, like, every song in the world were sung by those two people? I don't know, but that's just what I thought.
It's so cute.
Okay, so that was the
Yeah, that was it. That was 4.
Okay, I can go if you want.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
I just kind of wrote some, like, facts about my people. I'm so relieved that, like, I kind of held my breath through that list because I was really afraid that you would have. I was afraid you'd, like, list off the exact people that I did. So, thank God. I put Avril Lavigne right at the end, but didn't do any homework on her, so thank goodness.
She's incredible. Honestly, I could go off right now about Avril Lavigne.
Oh, so good. I mean, too bad that she, like, died and had to be replaced by a clone, am I right?
Oh my god, don't even start. We do not condone baseless conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm just joking. I don't believe that. I just think it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so too. But I
so,
love that exists in the world.
Yes, I know. What kind
if
of world we
conspiracy
live
theories
in.
weren't ruining our fabric of society right now, I would have so much more time for that.
Yeah, totally. So first, I have Alicia Cara, who I
She's
absolutely
Canadian?
love.
She's
Yeah.
Canadian.
Not a single
much.
Google search brought that to my attention.
And we did a lot of Googling for this episode.
Yeah.
Born in Brampton, Ontario.
Oh
Same
my God.
province and everything. Released her first album in 2015, which won her the 2017 Juno Award for Pop Album of the Year. And then her next album, The Pains of Growing, 2018, earned her the 2020 Juno Awards for the Album of the Year, Pop Album of the Year, and Songwriter of the Year. So she's awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's amazing. Born in 1996, so that would make her, like, barely, like, going to be 25 this year, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then she'd be best known for, like, Scars to Your Beautiful, Out of Love, and Stay. 3 of her, like, hugest songs. Another one is Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, love her.
I started my research thinking she was Sarah Evans, who's, like, a country singer. I don't know why I thought that these two people were the same.
Sarahs.
but they're different. And she was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And then she's most known by me for Angel, the most common song played every year at Remembrance Day ceremonies in Canada, November 11th. You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it, Moira. We all know it. And then I also love Ruth B as well.
Oh yeah, she's Canadian.
She's so great.
Yes.
So many artists I don't even know that they're Canadian. Like,
right? So amazing. Yeah. Born in Edmonton, Alberta. And then she got popular on Vine, which I don't think I knew. I knew that Lost Boy made her really, really famous.
yeah, me too.
But she came up with a line just to a random tune, not even a full song yet, and it was inspired by Once Upon a Time, which we love.
Yes, we do.
And that's what inspired the song. And so her followers on Vine wanted her to make it a whole song, and she made it. And then the song obviously blew up, like we said, and it currently has 570 million streams on Spotify, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
And then she's released an album since then, most known for Lost Boy, Dandelions, and Superficial Love, 3 of her really, really crazy famous songs. And then I also recommend, through this research, I've been listening to her music. If I Had a Son is a super good song. Super emotional.
I'm gonna have to check back up on her. I don't think I've followed up on anything else she's done besides Lost Boy, but maybe I need to circle back.
Super good. Super good. Yeah, and then I also put Avril Lavigne because I also adore her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moira, who did you have?
So I picked a lot of people who are more famous within Canada than outside of Canada.
Right.
So
fair enough.
A little less known, but love them nonetheless.
No, that's good to have a mix.
So the first band I picked was Twin Flames. I saw them in concert about 2 years ago when you could still go and do that. So
Oh, I miss it so much.
Yeah.
me too. They're an incredible band. They're an Indigenous group made up of a wife and husband who play like mostly indie music, and they're based out of Ottawa, Ontario, and sing songs in English, French, and Inuktitut.
Wow, that's
And-
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Their most famous song is called Human, which was used as the theme song for the Year of Indigenous Languages in 2019. And I listen to that song all of the time. It is
Amazing. Are they
very good.
Are they on Spotify?
I'm not positive because I do not use Spotify.
Right.
But yeah, they're a little harder to find even on YouTube because
Okay, but you can find them on YouTube.
you can find them. Yes.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah. The next band that I want to talk about is the Hunter Brothers. They are a Canadian country music band based out of Saskatchewan. And it's a band made up of 5 brothers. I know that there's a lot of people who don't like country music that much. But if you're going to listen to country music, listen to the Hunter Brothers because they're great. Their song Lost went to number 1 on Canadian country radio in 2019. It was their first song to go to number 1. And I love that song, but my personal favorite is Born and Raised, which is also one of their most famous songs, but never made it to number 1. So you should definitely go and listen to them. They're great. I love them. And the last band / people that I want to talk about is Great Big Sea.
Oh yeah, Great Big Sea.
Oh, back from the 90s and early 2000s band. They're a rock band from Newfoundland and Labrador. They were an active band from 1993 to 2013. And side note, I am slightly obsessed with everything that has to do with Newfoundland. So there's a couple things in this today about Newfoundland.
Fair enough.
Just
Totally
because
fair.
obsession.
Yeah. I sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I have 2 to add.
Okay.
So one I left off because I just assumed that you were gonna talk about her,
Okay.
and that's Kira Isabella.
Oh, I love her.
I forgot. I totally forgot she was Canadian.
Yeah.
That didn't come up in my Googles.
I don't know. I didn't plan. I totally just assumed that someone else would have put her on their list, so I didn't plan to say anything about her. But she's also a country music artist, and she's really great. And again, she's another young one. I think she's in her 20s still.
Yeah.
Yeah, super young.
So she's amazing. And then the other one that I totally forgot about until we talked about Avril Lavigne twice was controversial Canadian band Nickelback.
Yes, I thought about putting them in.
I
but-
totally forgot that they existed the whole time I was doing this prep, apparently, because I
Yeah.
actually enjoy Nickelback.
Yeah,
It's
me
it's a
too.
thing here. I don't know if it's a thing everywhere, but in Canada, it's a thing to hate Nickelback. But obviously we don't actually hate them because they are super duper famous.
Exactly.
so-
Yeah. They used to have a whole bunch of songs when we were in middle school. That was the thing.
Yeah, they
was
were
to play-
really
Yeah.
famous at that
play
time.
Nickelback and J-Lo at the friggin' grade 6 dances. So that's kind of what I associate them with.
Yeah.
They have some good songs, a couple good songs.
Yeah,
But
they were.
they are in fact Canadian, or is it just the main singer that's Canadian? I'm not sure.
No, they're Canadian. I think they're from Alberta.
Okay,
Mhm.
but yeah, those are
Awesome.
some good ones. I'm really glad, especially we didn't forget to talk about Kira Isabella. I really like her.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, are we ready to move on to TV/actors?
Yeah,
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
excited about it.
Yeah. So I have a couple. I have one show and then one actress that I'm obsessed with. So I love Canada's Worst Driver. I'm so sad that they got canceled.
They got canceled?
Um,
Oh my god. I'm
I'm
so
so sad. One of my favorite shows.
It's so
from
good.
Even before I could even drive. It's so good. It aired from October 3rd, 2005 to December 17th, 2018. Like I said, they just got canceled
That's
just
very
a couple
sad.
years ago. It's
Mhm.
hosted by Andrew Younghusband, and then in each season, if you haven't seen it, I didn't realize it was actually inspired by Britain's Worst Driver.
Neither did I. I've literally never heard of that before, but
I've
I guess
never heard of that
why would
before.
we?
Exactly.
But it was originally inspired by that, and then in each season 8 drivers and whoever nominated them enroll at this driver rehabilitation center where they complete challenges where they try to improve their driving skills, and then they try to graduate and not be the last one there, who would also ultimately become / be named like Canada's worst driver.
It's like a reverse Survivor, but with driving.
Exactly. That you don't want to be the last one.
Yeah, you want to get sent home.
So I love that show.
Me too. I love that show. I did not know it had been canceled for 2 years.
I know. It's so sad. I think summer it would come out.
I think so, yeah. I don't know. There's always reruns on, though. Like,
yes, true, very true. And then I want to talk about Sandra Oh.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. I freaking love her, of course. She was born in Nepean, Ontario, which is pretty close to where we're from. The daughter of Korean immigrants, she started performing when she was a kid. She attended the National Theatre School of Canada in Montreal, Quebec. She speaks fluent Korean, English, French, and Spanish.
That's amazing.
Right? How could I not mention that? She's so incredible. And then she became an American citizen officially in 2018. She's, of course, famous for the role of Dr. Christina Yang in Grey's Anatomy, which got her many award nominations over the course of her 10 years on the show. And then in 2018, she has found even more success after starring in Killing Eve, which I need these two to watch. So good. And I would die for it to be on more often, because they only do probably 6 to 8 episodes in a season, and then every season is just on in the spring. So it's not on very often, but I love it. It's so good. And then just a couple of her awards. In 2018, she made history as becoming the first Asian actor ever to receive an Emmy nomination in the Best Actress category for her role on Killing Eve. She is the first woman.
Incredibly late.
Yeah.
Right? 2018. What? I mean, and it goes on. She's she's set history in so many ways. First woman of Asian descent to win multiple Golden Globes, and then first person of Asian descent to host the Golden Globes, which she hosted in 2019.
Oh, she did such a good job.
She is so incredible in every way, in everything she does. She does such a great job. I mean, if you've seen her in Grey's Anatomy, seeing her in Killing Eve, it just shows how great of an actress she is, because it's such a big jump, and her characters are so different in those two shows. So, highly recommend, of course, Grey's Anatomy and also Killing Eve.
Has a very famous minor role in Princess Diaries, also.
Yes.
Super famous for that.
Yes. Yeah, she did. She's done so many things. It was such a huge list of all her awards and things she's done. Oh my goodness, she's amazing. But yeah, that's all I got.
Amazing. Moira, do you want to go?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, I have a lot, so I don't want to
Yeah, absolutely.
overwhelm everyone.
I focused on just the one that I had. I want to talk about Republic of Doyle, which is a comedy series that was based in St. John's, Newfoundland. So after Heartland, this is my favorite Canadian TV show ever. It's about 2 private investigators, Jake Doyle and his father, Malachi Doyle, and they work together along with the rest of their family to, solve these cases. The show aired from approximately 2010 to 2014 and has 6 seasons. I'm not sure about that timeline, considering the 6-season things, but who knows?
You can fit them in if you jam them together.
Yeah, but it's an action show without people constantly dying, which I appreciate greatly.
Switch it up.
Yeah. My favorite thing about the show is that it has the ideal ending where you're not sad that it's ended, because they have the usual action adventure in the 2-parter finale, but then they jump ahead in the future and they tie up all of the characters' stories at once, with this really sweet ending. And I think it's the perfect ending to any show ever. So
that's a high recommendation.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just go watch it.
My notes are in a list format, so anything besides the title I'm gonna give is gonna be totally off the cuff. I didn't plan any words I was gonna say.
Fair. Good for the disclaimer, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, Heartland, just go listen to both parts of episode 7. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We don't need
debated
to
whether
talk
or not
about
to
it anymore.
mention, because, I mean, Heartland, yeah, we have a whole episode just on it.
we'll probably have more episodes on it, but like,
Probably. Mhm.
Yeah.
knowing us. Letterkenny, one of my favorite shows at the moment. Just had a new season after Christmas, so that's exciting. It's so funny. It really, I think I've recommended it before in our recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
But it just really does feel like home for me.
That's funny.
But it's really funny. They're like 30-minute episodes about like people and their small town problems. It's really good. Orphan Black is one that I'm actually in the process of rewatching.
I would love to watch that show. I've always meant to watch it.
Me too.
So good. So good. I watched it the first year that I was in university, so like 4 years ago now. And I just started rewatching it recently, and it's so good. I feel like the main actress is Tatiana Maslany. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. But she's so incredible because she plays all of the main characters. Because it's a story about clones, so she plays all of them. Like, there's like 6 main characters that she plays and then a bunch of other side characters, and she plays them all really differently. You can tell them all apart. She's so talented.
I love that.
And it's just a really good show. The next one I want to talk about was Rookie Blue, which is one of my favorite crime shows. If anyone knows where you can stream this, literally hit me up, because I can't find it available to stream anywhere, but I love it. It's just it's a cop show. But I really like the characters in it. I really like the main character, Andy. Yeah, didn't plan on anything, so that's
That's okay.
Again, let me know if I can stream that anywhere, because I would like to. And then my fourth one, I'm not totally convinced that this is Canadian, so if I'm wrong, call me out. But the show is Vikings, which is a show I really like.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that might have come up in my research.
Yeah, Google told me it was, but I'm not 100% convinced that Google was correct, especially because Google failed to remind me about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Fair.
This week. But assuming that it is in fact Canadian, really good show.
Mm-hmm.
My dad really likes it. I really like it.
I never would have, like, I've seen that advertised and I never thought that would be.
No, it's like super compelling.
Is it like Game of Thrones kind of?
It is a little bit Game of Thronesy, but like in a not so Game of Thrones way. Like it feels a little bit like less, at least the bits that I've seen. I have not fully watched it, to be honest, but from what I've seen, it's not so like magic-y Game of Thrones. Like there's not dragons as far as I know.
Okay, yeah.
It's a little bit more like based in reality. But it's really good, and I enjoy watching it from time to time, and I do mean to watch it all the way through.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Really
Someday when I have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I had.
Incredible.
Okay, awesome. This is so good. Like, I've gotten so many... My notepad is full of things to watch and listen to.
Honestly, if you ever need recommendations, this episode, and what was the other one that was like full of recommendations? New Year's?
Oh, probably
yeah.
years.
So.
Yeah.
If you ever need recommendations, those are the 2 episodes of this podcast you should check out.
And another one coming up in a couple episodes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be full. So, yeah.
Incredible. Do we have any movie recommendations?
I have one.
Okay.
And I feel
I'm
uneasy.
so lame about movies. I don't know why. I just like don't watch movies.
It was hard to find Canadian movies. I know that there must be good ones out there. I just haven't seen them.
Exactly.
Okay, lay it on us, KJ.
I don't even feel 100% confident recommending this. It is 100% Canadian.
Oh, okay.
It was filmed all over Toronto. I saw articles that were just like, this movie is the love letter to Toronto, because it's like every location is peak Toronto. The movie is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is based on a Canadian graphic novel. It is very Canadian. But I just feel uneasy about recommending it as a whole, because the movie and the book itself have some issues.
Okay.
But it's an enjoyable film to watch if you can get past some things. Like, yeah, it's good. It has Michael Cera in it. as the main guy, and he's the main guy, but he's not super likable, if that makes sense.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay.
I have to watch this movie for class in the next couple weeks, so...
Oh, wow.
This should be
What
interesting.
class? I have questions.
It's for my Ontario since 1945 class.
Wow.
So, yeah, it should be interesting.
I first watched this movie when I was at a sleepover I was probably like in like grade like 5 or 6 maybe. And my memory of the movie was this like a movie that was not appropriate for us to have watched at that age. That is not true. It is a fairly PG movie, aside from the fact that Michael Cera is dating a high schooler and he's not in high school. That is
Right.
But it's a movie that I enjoy. I watched it since then. I've watched it again and I liked it. I think I actually brought it up on this podcast before.
I think so, yeah.
But I really like it, and it was definitely filmed in Toronto.
Yes, that's good. That's a good thing. So it's good to mention. That's good.
Yeah, it was like the one movie I'd seen that was like definitely Canadian.
Yeah, out of the three of us, it's the only movie that we came up with, so...
Please send us some Canadian movies that we need to watch. We'll do a whole episode on them if you send it in.
I promise I'll watch some movies if you recommend them.
We might even, if you recommend us a good movie, like, we might even let you be on the episode.
Yes, totally open to that.
Yeah.
And just before we move on to the next section, I just thought of a show that I wanted to recommend.
Absolutely.
I was literally, because it's going to come on March 3rd, and I was trying to figure out which episode I could recommend it on, but I don't know, out of all of my time thinking about Canadian shows, why I didn't just recommend it on this one instead of at the top where we recommend it every week. So anyways, I want to recommend Big Brother Canada. It's one of the only, well, probably in my opinion, like the only thing I feel really strongly about that Canada does way, 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 way better as far as like TV goes. Usually, you know, American Idol, Canadian Idol kind of flops.
I loved Canadian Idol.
I liked it, but of course it's no longer on.
Carly rejects it wouldn't exist without Canadian Idol. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
There we go.
Yeah, but I love Big Brother Canada. They don't cast douchebags, they don't cast racists, they cast really awesome people, which Big Brother US fails to do. They cast really likable people, and it's such a good show, and it's so funny and great, and I just love it all the way around. And it's coming back on March 3rd, so
Amazing.
I love it.
Did you guys hear me come to the defense of Canadian Idol and then mention a Canadian artist that nobody mentioned?
Yes.
A really big, really famous Canadian artist that we've not talked about.
Many. We have great
We got music. We got music in the bag. Movies, apparently not so much, but music, we got you covered.
Yeah.
There's so many we like literally didn't mention, and like there's so many we don't know. I'm sure there's so many like French and Indigenous artists that I just don't know because that's not something I've been exposed to.
Yeah. Totally other genres of music that we might not listen to.
Yeah, I'm definitely checking out that, was it Twin Flames was what you said, Moira? I mean, I can always listen back, but I'll definitely be checking them out, because it's good to broaden your horizons, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Carly Rae Jepsen, oh my god, how could we forget her?
Oh my god. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, do we want to move on and talk about books?
Yeah.
Authors?
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
Incredible.
Should I start?
Absolutely. Go for it.
So obviously my first one off the top, refer back to episode 10 now, when I talked all about Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery. All the Anne books, check them out. They're amazing. Literally just like quintessential like Canada.
Just anything Anne related, like all the movies and TV shows.
Yeah, there's so many
everything
of them.
about them. There's
so many different adaptations. The books are all great. Literally so good. The next one I want to talk about also could have gone into TV technically, but like it's a Hulu original, and like that's not Canadian, but like which is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood.
Oh yes, fair. I knew you were gonna mention that.
Yeah,
so good. I have to read the book.
The book is good. I read the book after I watched the first season, which the first season follows the book fairly well and like ends where the book ends. The book ends on a cliffhanger, and spoiler, like it ends on a cliffhanger. So when you get to the end of
that's not a spoiler. I think you're good.
when you get to the end of the book and you're like, where's the rest? There is no rest. That's just how it is.
No one ripped out a page from
It's a really good book. I feel like the first time I was like exposed to it, and I was just resistant to reading it because it was school, and I sometimes just don't like to be told what to read.
Right.
Fair.
But like once I like got into the show and then I read the book, and I was like, this is actually really good. It's really well written. Margaret Atwood's a really good author.
Mm-hmm.
She's written all kinds of things. That's really the only thing of hers that I've like read and know enough about to recommend, but apparently everything she writes is really good.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then the next one I wanted to recommend was something I also read for school. That my next two are school, but like this one was good. I hope that I would have read this even if it hadn't been for school.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a whole paper on this in high school, but it was The Book of Negroes by Lawrence Hill.
Right.
Yeah.
It is such a good book about the slave trade, and it really focuses on this. It's been a while. I forget the main character's name. I know it starts with an A, and I feel bad for not remembering it or looking it up, but I did not. And she's, like, kidnapped from her village in Africa, and she's brought to America, and she works on a plantation, and she gets passed around, and, like, a bunch of really horrible things happen to her, and then she's involved in, like, the American Revolution, and, you know, the British promised freedom to people who, like, helped them. And then she's up in Canada, where, like, the Loyalists are, and, like, you know, they're still not liked there. And then she goes back to, then they send those, all those people that were with the Loyalists, they send all of them to Sierra Leone, and, like, they can't fit back into their society there. It's so good. It's such a good book. It's really long, so it might take you a while to get through it, but I highly recommend reading it for yourself, because it's just so good.
Incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember being recommended that one, probably by you.
Probably.
And then seeing it actually in my research of Canadian stuff. So definitely should read that.
Yeah, there was a CBC series, like a 6-part series or something, I feel like, a few years ago, and it was really good, but it's definitely no substitute for the book. The book is amazing.
Right.
Incredible.
And then my last one is a book that I read in my first year of university, and Moira will probably like this if she hasn't read it already. It's called The Shipping News by Annie Proulx. I hope I said that correctly as well. But it takes place in Newfoundland. It's about this, like, guy, and he's kind of like a weird guy, but, like, his wife cheats on him, and so he packs up his kids and they move to his, like, ancestral home in Newfoundland.
Interesting.
And I don't really remember much about what actually happens in the book, but I remember reading the book, and, like, again, I didn't want to read it, but I had to for school, and, like, you kind of just got, like, sucked in after a while, and I read the whole thing in, like, one day, so it was really good. Maybe I'll have to revisit it now.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Faith, do you have any books?
I don't. I'm so sad. I used to be super, super into reading in, like, middle school and elementary school, and then I just, like, didn't for a long time, and I've just really, really recently gotten back into reading. And the only, apparently, Canadian author that I had read her stuff at the time where I was, like, into, you know, YA books and stuff was Kelly Armstrong. So I was so excited when I looked at the list and saw that that's what you were talking about. So I would love to hear about that. Because I loved the whole series.
Yes, I intentionally left her off of my list because I knew that Moira was talking about her.
I love Kelly Armstrong. I got to meet her last year at a book reading that my book club held, so
that's so amazing.
A little bit of a fangirl right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is, Kelly Armstrong is an author from Ontario. She has published 31 fantasy novels.
Wow.
Learned that this week. Yeah. Her most famous series is Women of the Otherworld, which now I have to get my hands on. And there's 13 books in the series.
Oh, that's like half of those 31 right there.
It's just a huge series. The books that I read that I adore her for are the Darkest Powers trilogy and the Darkness Rising trilogy. They overlap a little bit at the end, but they're technically two different trilogies. The Darkest Powers trilogy follows the life of 15-year-old necromancer Chloe Saunders.
That's the one I read.
Yeah. That's the first one that comes out chronologically. Yeah. Like, she finds out about her powers and then, like, learns how to control them and stuff. And then the Darkness Rising trilogy follows 16-year-old girl named Maya Delaney, who is a skinwalker, which allows her to turn into an animal. I'm not sure which one, because Google wouldn't tell me, but another character turns into a cougar, so like approximately some kind of cool animal like that.
Right.
That sounds pretty badass.
Yeah.
Read the books to find out.
Yeah.
I love this series, and also this series is classified as young adult fiction and as horror. And I don't like being scared, and I absolutely devoured these books because they're so well written. Like, they're super great. So I totally recommend.
I love them. Mm-hmm.
And as KJ was talking about the Book of Negroes, I was reminded about a book that I read last semester for my French colonialism class called The Hanging of Angelique by Afua Cooper. And it is so good. It talks about the slave trade in Canada, which is so overlooked.
Yeah, we don't talk about it too much.
We just don't talk about it.
We like to talk about how we let the slaves come up here, but we don't talk about how we did all the slaving stuff as well.
Yeah, that was, it's so just not mentioned. So it's a really, really good book. It's about Montreal and this woman, this black woman who named Angelique, who was hanged in Montreal for burning down half of old Montreal.
Wow.
And it's
that sounds really
very,
good.
very good.
Yeah.
I absolutely recommend it. Yeah, that is it for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So many recommendations for our listeners this week.
Definitely. So many good ones. It's really good to talk about some awesome Canadian stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canadian grown stuff.
Honestly, yeah, like we're so overwhelmed by like American stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every CW show is American, but it's technically filmed in Vancouver. Like,
Right.
like a lot of shows we see like filming locations that are Canadian, but like the actual like production and stuff is like American.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we just don't take the time to appreciate our own Canadian.
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally. Yeah, and have our own like kind of separate media / culture. It's just all kind of blended with the American.
Yeah, it's just
Culture
Western.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah.
It was really good to take a minute. We might have to do an episode on things that are made in Canada but aren't necessarily Canadian, because there's a lot of shows.
There's a lot. So is that it for today?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So we are skipping our end segments today because there's nothing that we all talked about consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our episode for this week. You have been listening to the Series of Opinions podcast. Let us know what you thought about this week's episode. Leave us a review. That would really help. And get in contact with us on social media. Next week, we will be reviewing a new show that we are all going to be starting called Tiny Pretty Things. So tune in and check that out. Our email is seriesofopinionspod@gmail.com. We're at Series of Opinions Pod on Tumblr and Instagram, and at Series of Opinion with no S on Twitter. And you can find me at Moira_Frisk on everything.
You can find me at Miss Faith Ann on everything and at Faith Ann Art for all of my art.
And you can find me at Life Messes of KJ on everything. And please tell me some Canadian movies to watch. Seriously. We need the recommendations. Our logo is by Faith Ebert. You can find at Faith Ann Art. This episode was written, produced, and recorded by us. It was edited by me, editing KJ. And we will be back next week with a new episode.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye!